Hey, I'm Sam, and it's very early, as usual. There's still a heavy mist hanging over the loch, and when this burns off, it's going to be blazing sunshine. There's always blazing sunshine when there's a heavy layer of cloud all across the loch and through the glen. So it's going to be a beautiful day, and but it's pretty chilly. Autumn is on its way. Soon the hillsides will just be the beautiful colour of decay. It's just my favourite time of year. I've got to keep my voice down because at this time in the morning, especially across the loch, your voice carries. So I wanted to talk about something that came up after the last video. You know, like I said in that video, which is only on Friday, it's Sunday morning now. In these videos, I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm just trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to tell the truth of what it is I'm feeling and experiencing. But as a person that through childhood trauma, I dissociated and I remained in a dissociative state all of my life to varying degrees of absence. You know, to come back to truth is a journey of becoming more conscious of my thoughts, my feelings, the world that seems external to myself, the world that's inside me, where those two realms meet, like how to make sense out of that. And you can't really make sense out of it with your mind, because the mind wants to claim it all. It wants to describe it and contain it. It's learning how to come back into the body as this incredible organ of perception. Like, what is it I'm feeling? What is it I'm sensing? What is it that I'm interpreting in my emotions? Because the emotions are messages from the body. Feelings are the interpretation of those emotions. So what is it I'm feeling? And it's like learning a language, because we've never been here. We've always been up and out into our descriptions, because it's safe there. If you can describe it, you can know it, and you don't need to be scared of it. So to come back down and in is to learn the language of perception. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What are these emotions? What are they telling me? Am I scared? Am I feeling joy? Apprehension? Inquisitiveness? And in the last video, I said that it took me weeks to make that video. It took me 2 weeks because I was describing. I was walking up and down the hills every day, making very long versions of that video, and I was talking over and over again through the why and the how and descriptions of what happens to us in trauma and you know, just very wordy videos. And as soon as I let go, I walked into the forest and I just started talking, and I said something much simpler, much truer. And it was that simple truth that my words were trying to protect me from. Because when I went home, I published that video, and then I went home. I was staying at a friend's house looking after their dogs, and then I made that video in the morning. I published it and packed up all my things and came home. And when I got home and I'd unpacked, I sat down and I was talking to a friend, and I just broke apart. I just completely broke apart. And it was my words and descriptions and the cleverness of mind that was keeping me from feeling that breaking apart. And as soon as I stopped doing it and I spoke from a simpler, truer place, I felt. And so our thoughts and our descriptions and our judgments as well, our self-judgment, our negative self-judgment, our fear of speaking truthfully, our fear of feeling, it's all an avoidance strategy. And it's a natural avoidance strategy because it saves us. It saves us in overwhelming terror. The avoidance of thought and abstraction and description saves us from feeling what it is we're going through. And so we become disconnected. So to speak truthfully, to speak simply and honestly, it reconnects us. And I broke apart and I felt. And what I felt was overwhelming sorrow and loss. Overwhelming loss. And everybody lives with loss. Everybody feels loss. You know, sometimes in the comments I see people saying, I've healed, I am healed, like it's a finite experience, and my life is incredible. I'm happy if that's true, but I don't think it is. Loss and sorrow are part of life, and if we avoid that, can we really feel anything at all? It doesn't mean to say we have to dwell there, but when it comes, it comes. And if we're scared to feel that, we can't really feel anything. We just exist in this very narrow bandwidth of presence, because our presence is, dictated by how available we are to our feelings, how available we are to the world. And, the process that we go through as people that have experienced an overwhelming intensity of persistent fear and confusion in childhood is to come back to that and to familiarise ourselves with it. We don't need to dwell there, but we need to feel it. We need to be able to feel it and remain stable. And we need to not resist it through our avoidance strategies. But the sorrow is indescribable, really. To be in an unindividuated state within the womb, sharing everything in this relationship of wholeness, even sharing our blood, our mother's thoughts, her food, the nourishment of everything about her, and then being born into the world. How utterly terrifying that is. There is an expectation of an essential need being met, and it is the soothing of the mother. It is the presence of an external force that can protect us, that can help us regulate our emotions, that can come to us and soothe us when we are distressed. Because as a baby, we are an entirely emotional creature. For the first 2-3 years of our life, we need that. It's essential. If we don't have that, all we have is the terror of separation. And so, if you experience neglect in those years of your life, if you then experience the perversion of abuse, the distortions of abuse, no wonder we feel like our mind, like I said in the last video, it's like someone reached into my mind with a razor blade and just cut me to pieces, and I had to live with that confusion, because you cannot make sense of that. You cannot make sense of all of those distortions, because it's not supposed to be like that, and you have to find some way to live and to continue to function. And you do that by dissociating. You do that by not feeling, by not seeing, by simplifying, by reducing. And when you reduce your relationship to yourself, you reduce your ability to be here, your ability to embody presence in the world. And then you're just this wraith, this kind of, barely real. So that sorrow is indescribable. The sorrow of experiencing those things is indescribable. And I don't think you can adequately describe it or explain it to anybody, but we try, and then we just alienate ourselves. So we have to hold it inside. And when we hold it inside, it sits within us. It's this absence, because we can't feel it, we don't want to feel it. But the more available we become, to allowing those feelings to rise and fall and let them go without attaching a story to it, without resisting, we gradually come into greater presence. And we broaden and deepen and become more stable. And we don't feel so isolated. We're not so unavailable. And we don't need to go up and out into our descriptions and thoughts and strategies for coping. And the more present you are with yourself, the effort that's going into trying to change, trying to fix our mind, you can't use your mind to fix your mind. You can't use your mind to sort yourself out. You come down into your body, you allow your body to complete the process that it naturally needs to do, which is to feel and release. Feel and release. And gradually your body becomes a place that is no longer a hostile environment, a place where you can feel safe. And there's no need for you to be efforting all the time, forcing yourself to try and change. There's just no need for those strategies any longer. They gradually fall away. You don't need to put any effort into it. You don't need to force yourself into practices that you think you should be doing. You just begin to let go. And that's what I'm feeling now. But I continually meet my resistance, continually, because that sorrow, that indescribable sorrow of the isolation of being a baby and an infant and a child, lost within the distortions and perversions of mind, the psychic projection of abuse, that's still there. But it's not me. It's not me. You know, the truth is, I don't know what I am anymore. I don't know what I am anymore. What is the essential truth that I can say is me? Is it my body? You know, somebody that transitioned and spent most of my adult life as a pretending to be something I wasn't, and I still live with all of those changes. What am I? What is the essential truth that I can say is me? Is it my body? Is it my body? Is it my awareness? I don't know. So, that's it. Just another short video today. So, you know, we need to become conscious of these strategies. Why am I talking so much? Why am I describing in my own head over and over again what it is I feel? Because the descriptions of what we feel are not feeling. They're avoiding feeling. Every negative judgment you place on yourself, I need to change, I'm wrong, why do I keep doing this, I'm so broken. All of that stuff is just a way of our mind protecting ourselves from what we are carrying. And we're carrying it because we can't let our body complete its process and release it. And we can't do that because we're stuck in our mind and our mind is resisting. And when you were a child, that was an essential survival strategy to stabilize the system of body-mind so you could keep functioning. But now it's completely in the way. So are you here? Touch yourself. Are you here? Are you here? Or are you up here, up and out? That's it. So, if you need to get in touch, there's a link to my website under every video. There's a contact page there. And I've started doing a weekly group video call every Sunday, UK time, 2:30. If what I've said in this video touches you or makes any sense to you and you want to participate in that group video call, drop me an email and I can include you. I don't charge for my time. I don't charge for the video calls or anything like that, but I do accept donations, and it's purely voluntary. If you can afford to donate, I'm very grateful, but if you can't, it's completely fine. And there's a donations link under every video as well. And I'm so thankful to everybody that does support this channel and regularly donates. It does make a difference in my life. You know, it's a strange world that we live in, because everything we do has to have a financial component. We need to live, we need to pay for our lives, you know, so it does make a difference, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. Okay, that's it. I'll see you soon. Bye.